Hello and welcome back to our Intro to After Effects class. And in this class, we're going to learn 3D layers. So to start off with, we are using a project that I had set up before with layers already in it. It was for our text animation. And I'm just going to delete the magic side of the text. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this null object. There, it's gone. And then we just have this animation happening here. So to start off with, what makes a 3D layer? So if you want to make a 3D layer, you just click on the layer that you want and then click the little icon here. Actually, you don't have to click on that at all. I just click on the icon itself. And then now we have 3D layers. You can't really tell what's going on unless you go to a view and switch them to like a 2 view. And so you have an upper and your view and your upper layer. All right, so if I click on strawberry, now I have these controls here and I can move that back. Let's move the background back. And in fact, let's label this as background, BG. And then I'll click this, move it back and scale it. Transform, scale that sucker up. And then, in fact, I'll make it even bigger. There we go. And then let's add a floor. Let's add a layer, new solid. And we'll make it a dark blue. There we go. Hit OK. And then I am going to shift this. Believe it or not, it's going to go down here above background. It's going to be turned into a 3D layer. And then we're going to label this as floor. All right. Transform it. And orientation wise, let's see. Orientation. Let's rotate it around a couple ways. There we go. We're this way. That's 90. I'm going to do 90 degrees. There we go. And then I can bring it down. And let's bring it to about right there where it's touching the feet of the strawberry. And now let's scale it. There we go. And that should cover that for a basis. All right, now that's there. If we click, we can see it's going across the screen. But what about that little circle there? Let's move that back and up. It's locked to the strawberry, but if we move it on its own, it shouldn't affect it too much. Just do that, and then we'll move it up a little bit. There we go. So it will roll with the strawberry. And let's add a camera. Since we're in 3D, let's add a layer, new, camera, leave all the settings the same. The camera focal length is probably the most important thing, which is flat. It's at 50 millimeters, but you can change it to wide angle or the other kind. Hit OK. And then I'm going to add a light, new light. And the reason we're adding the light, I'm going to add a spotlight, boom, is because it will generate shadows and spotlights. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to change some settings here. First of all, let's change my spotlight settings and go down here and look under here. Let's make sure that it's set properly. Shadows, I'm going to increase this to make them soft. Hit that. And then we're going to go to strawberry. He's going to cast shadows. So on him, we're going to change material options. And we're going to change that to cast shadows. I'm going to click to on. Close that up. Open your shape layer. Materials. Cast shadows, click that to on, and then close that. Open this up as shape layers as well. Materials, and we're cast shadows on. So as the character moves across the screen, he's supposed to actually cast some shadows. Well, we got to actually have receiving shadows as well. So we go to the background, material options, open that up, and we're going to say cast shadows on. I think that's fine. It's supposed to receive shadows. Except shadows, that's got it. Okay. And the floor, let's see. Make sure that's got the cast shadows as well, just in case. Turn that on. Okay. Now, if you're not seeing any shadowing, chances are the light is the culprit. So, there we go. Let's go to the side a little bit here. And let's pull this back a little bit more. Yeah, and I'm seeing that. Let's see here. Here we go, about right there. All right, so if it goes this way, he should cast a shadow on the back. Let's make sure nothing's at the same layer. So that's at the same layer. That's further back. That's further back. Let's just double check this, make sure it's on the right spot. Cast shadows. Oh, cast shadows. There we go. Turn that on. There we go. So now the light is casting shadows, and this was the issue. This cast shadows was not selected. All right, so now that we have that, you can see that we have character kind of walking into the light, and he's casting shadow as he walks. It's a little slow, so let's bring this resolution down to maybe a third. There we go. And he's walking into the light and walking out of the light. Now, because it's a 3D layer, you have these 3D shadows now, and you have depth. If I wanted to, I can actually move the camera as well, and we can follow this character in as he's coming into the shot. So let's start here at the position 1. Let's do position and orientation, and then I'm gonna go all the way to the back, and we're just move this camera in. And let's rotate this. There we go. And position over a little bit. There we go. All right. So now it starts off here, and we're just going to zoom into this character as he's walking. And there you go. Now you have 3D layers with animation. It's pretty straightforward and simple. It can get extremely complex. That's pretty much it, though. Beyond that, you can make layers with alpha channels or make mats. You can build whole cities and fly through space and do all sorts of fun little things with that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That's our 3D layer tutorial for Intro to After Effects class. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in our next class.